this is going to be 3 minutes of an unashamed commercial interlude, so you can reflect that in your... I just want to give you a bit of background to... We've been 3 years in Mediacontact.ie doing stuff with technology and media contacts, and every time we do this course there are new developments, so I just wanted to give people a couple of minutes just to tell you some of the things that are going to happen in the next couple of months. Yeah, 3 years did really age me. I think it's 2 children and too much stress. I bought the media contacts directory of this gentleman, Mike Burns, who was a doyen of Irish journalists back in November 2006, as it says in the books. And I paid a lot of money for 2 boxes of books and the title of a directory. And tying into what we're doing today on social media, I had a vision as to how communications professionals could interact digitally with media contacts, and I just want to give you an update on as to where it's going. Not that long ago, when I started working in a press office, I was fascinated by the fact that there were 4 filing cabinets full of press statements from a few years previous that were written with a typewriter, and that's how they used to post them to the news desk. And that isn't 20 years ago, that was 1999 when I started working in the press office. We used to fax everything, and that's how we got things across. The reason we use a nice sponge cake in this slide is to, back 10, 15 years ago, the media was relatively simple. RTE was probably the only TV station. They had a regional outing in Cork. We only have local radio since 1989, and there was 1 local paper everywhere. There was no social media, there was no blogs, there was no Facebook, there was no Twitter. But as we know, that's changed. Typewriter was the friend of the journalist and the PR person for writing press releases. And not that long ago, probably 4 or 5 or 6 years ago, we used to take cuttings with scissors. And I'm sure everybody here who works in communications has had that stress where the envelope came in and you think, oh shit, pardon the language, but something's happening in Mayo, and there's something in the Western People, and it's in that envelope, and the client's going to kill me when I open it up. And we don't do that. We're a digital media model. I remember working on a campaign about 6 years ago where I had to find a woman in Mayo to buy the local papers off the newsstands the day they came out to ring me to make sure that we were across what was happening.
What press office were you working in?
So that's a very small organisation. It wasn't Finn Fall. So that has changed, and this is a copy of a printed directory we have in the office. So what still amazes me is that some people still use the book, and I have this discussion every day with people who are in the office go, can we have the book please? And I said, well, we've got some great digital products. No, I'd like the book please. And some people who are very far advanced use really high-tech things called Excel. That's really at the cutting edge. And it's not a sponge cake anymore, it's a layer cake. So it's not about 2 or 3 media outlets, it's about a multiplicity of things. On top of all of the traditional media, we're all here today because of social media and building an audience for ourselves. So it's got complicated. So we've gone from a printed book to an online site that is to help people connect with the media. So our online product is called Media Direct, and just to give you a quick sample of how it works, it gives an organizational template for every media organization in the country. It gives a little bit of background and kind of biographical detail of the different stations, and you can click into that, and that's a news talk list. You get a list of the journalists, the producers, all of their details when you click into that. Little icons appear to the left in blue when they're on a media list that you have. You can put in a note on a specific journalist and have it that way. And then when you click into a journalist, that's Anya Lawler from Morning Ireland. Photograph, biographical detail. From a standing start, the online edition of the directory is 5 times bigger than the book, and we update it every day. So in essence, how it works is you have an account, you have all of your media lists saved, and you can send a press release from anywhere in the world as long as you can access the internet. So you don't need a laptop, you just need to go to an internet cafe, all of your details will come when you send the press release, then it comes from your email address. It doesn't come from us. And we see ourselves as a sophisticated courier for information. So people will still get the stuff from your email address in the normal way, and they won't know it comes from us. And it's our job to connect people to the media. Here's some of the brands that we've worked on, and since this slide was done, we're working for the City Council, we're working with a couple of government departments, but there's a good kind of broad range from charities to companies like Paddy Power, Vodafone, and things like that. It works on two levels. If you're an independent PR person, if you give you a reach of a big agency, if you're a big agency, you can link everybody in your office to all of the same information, so everybody can share all the same lists. Just a couple of testimonials. In the package you got, there's a trial form. So if anybody wants to try it for free, Gay Gibson, who works on sales, is down there. If you fill that out, you can have a trial for a few days for free, and you can see if it's something that will work for you. And I recommend you to do that. Our sister site is Media Express. I don't know if any or all of you heard of Good News Friday the last couple of weeks, which was the idea that we ran with Media Express, and it's an interesting case study in line with what Damien said. We ran it in the traditional way and through Twitter and Facebook. The website traffic on Media Express went up 2,200% in 3 weeks because of that. And it's back to his point that good ideas sell when they get across. Media Express is like a ready-to-go phone, so you can send one-off press releases to our list and pay a one-off fee, whereas the Media Direct, you get a 12-month subscription. It's like a bill pay phone. You can do it whatever way you want. Tomorrow we're announcing a conference on the 27th of April called Media 2020. I'll just give you a quick look at the speakers. We ran an event last April on social media. We had about 250 people at it. So we decided that this year we wanted to make it a bit bigger and a bit better. So we've got speakers from BBC and Channel 4, Google, Guardian, they've done the Irish Times, Minister Eamon Ryan, and the objective of that day will be to look at the key trends, technologies and issues that are going to face communications for the next 2 to 5 years. So it's going to talk about the gadgets, the applications, the websites, the kind of key ideas, and we try to bring a good swathe of people in from Europe, and I find in these things that in the UK and in Europe they're generally 6 to 8 months ahead of what we're doing here. So we're hoping that day that it'll give people a good feel for the things that are happening in the next 18 months. And we're going to send out an email about it tomorrow and put it up on the website tomorrow. So that's the end of the ad. I'll hand you over to Damien. And one thing, if people are asking questions, I know from being at the back of the room, if you're asking a question, can you just identify yourself and say what your job is and stuff like that? It just gives a context to the other people in the room and kind of see where you're coming from.
And speak loud.
And speak louder, yeah. Thanks.